Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. In this video, we'll talk you through some possible solutions for your elbow pain that you have during all bent arm pulling or pushing exercises. So we hope we help you with this video and enjoy watching.
Before we dive into any kind of exercise, we need to determine where the pain is coming from. What is important to know and important to understand is that even if you have elbow pain, that doesn't mean the pain is because you have a problem in your elbow. It could mean that your elbow is compensating for any kind of any lack of mobility or range of motion from a joint beneath or above it. So it could compensate for a lack of shoulder or scapular mobility. Could even compensate for some wrist mobility or lack of wrist range of motion. So that's important to understand. What we want to cover in today's video is that we have one great tool to assess where the pain is coming from. So if we have a tool that is called CARS, controlled articular rotations. When we go through elbow CARS, we go through our entire range of motion and through every single movement our joint has or our elbow joint has. So when we go through our elbow CARS, we start in this position with the palm facing the wall in front of us. And our elbow is basically glued to our rib cage. And then we come up into full flexion. So biceps is engaged and it's basically a bicep curl. So when we are in full flexion, we ultimately at the same time try to go into more supination. So at the top, we're in supination and flexion. As we turn around, we then come into pronation and go back down into extension, keeping our elbow in pronation. As we lower down, we try to get into more pronation. And then we keep our elbow the same, and then we come back up in pronation, come back up into flexion. From here, again, we rotate, and now we have supination in flexion, and then we go back down, supination in extension. So these are all the ranges of all the movements we can go into. And when we go through the CARS, we can determine at which point we have pain. So let's assume that when we come up into supination and flexion, we have pain right here. We can't flex all the way, we can only flex to here, or we can't go into more supination because then we feel it in our elbow. So there is a difference between uncomfortable and pain. You have to distinguish that, but as soon as you feel there's pain, then you know, okay, that's the area I need to be working on. And Jan will show you what you can do to increase your mobility for supination and flexion.
So I'm gonna demonstrate you now what you can do if you cannot go into more flexion or into more supination, and if you feel pain there. We use a stick to work on supination because the stick helps us to limit the compensation coming from your wrist here. We hold the stick a little bit over the middle, that more weight is on the outside here. So the stick is longer here, so the stick is automatically falling down to this side. We need this position. So go in the position where you just feel a slight uncomfortable feeling, but no pain. We work exactly in that area here. From here, make sure you're holding the stick with your thumb right on your stick to prevent any compensation coming from your wrist, as I said. So go in this position, hold the stick strong, and from here I push with my free hand into more supination. Only go as far as you feel no pain. It should be slight uncomfortable. You should feel it a little bit in your elbow, but you shouldn't feel any pain. So hold that position right here for around 2 minutes. We're gonna do pails and rails here. So 2 minutes, let's assume I held it for 2 minutes, and now slowly going into my pails contraction. So I slowly start ramping up, pushing that stick right here in my free hand So I'm gonna push it down. Okay? So if I reach my maximum effort, your maximum effort might be under 100% because maybe at 80 or 90% you feel a lot of pain here. So only go to maybe 50, 60%. So you still can do the isometric, but you don't train into pain. Okay, so let's assume you only ramp up to 50, and now you hold that isometric contraction with 50% of your maximum effort for 15 seconds. After the 15 seconds, immediately start the rails contraction, trying to actively go more in this direction, pushing the stick down, okay, away from your hand. As you are in your maximum passive end range, it's probably not possible to lift the stick off of your hand, okay? So here again, don't try to force yourself into pain or train into pain. Just stay slightly away from the pain sensation and hold that isometric rails contraction now for 15 seconds again. So this is a really good exercise to improve your supination for your elbow, and you might mitigate your pain sensation as well for your elbow. So the next thing obviously is if you cannot go more into flexion. So if you have pain here already and cannot go into full flexion. For this one, we have a very cool challenge on our website. It's currently on. It's a pull-up challenge. It's going on the whole January. You can attend that, and we have the exercise covered to get more elbow flexion and to train your elbow flexion more. So go on our website and subscribe to that challenge. It's free. You don't have to pay anything, and we highly recommend you checking that out so you can get a solution also to get more flexion in your elbow. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope we helped you with this video, some of you who are currently dealing with elbow pain. And if you want more information, as I already said, visit our website. The link is in the description below, and see you in the next video.